Hi everybody! It is my honor to present our work, Dynamic Theater, Location-Based Immersive Dance Theater, Investigating User Guidance and Experience. I'm You-Jin Kim, a PhD candidate at UC Santa Barbara. I had the honor to work with my student Joshua Liu and my PI Tobias Höllerer in this project. Our project, Dynamic Theater, investigates the application of augmented reality in immersive theater as a venue for digital dance performances. In partnership with professional dancers, our goal is to devise a location-based experience, leveraging an indoor physical space and enabling users to explore choreography in a wide area. The recent examination in location-based experiences, featuring locomotion as main interactive element, can be seen in range of applications from mixed reality games to historical narratives. Our project was made possible by the works you see here. Using word anchoring systems such as Azure Spatial Anchor and AR Core Cloud Anchor with knowledge of physical layout, we can place digital content precisely in the real world. This enables users to experience this digital content whenever they are in the designated area. The freedom to position digital objects anywhere presents numerous opportunities and challenges. It has become evident that curating the user experience while taking into account the physical layout and anticipated user movement is critical in making our AR theater experience. In order to properly utilize the full potential of the physical space and highlight the dancer movement, we work closely with dancers and choreographers in creation of our AR play. In our study, we use standalone AR headset HoloLens 2 to give the spectator the opportunity to freely wander around the environment as the play develops. Through dynamic theater, we gather feedback from participants as well as dancers. From participants, we focused on assessing their level of enjoyment and immersion using stripped-down version of Game User Experience Satisfaction Scale, Guest Questionnaire, along with effectiveness of navigational aid and recollective of the physical space. Furthermore, we collected information from dancers and choreographers about what information was particularly helpful when creating a dynamic theater, as well as the decisions and consideration they made when choosing choreography in this AR environment. Here is the environment in which we conducted our study. We use a layout that is over 200 square meters in size and make sure to fully utilize the entire layout of the space in our application. Right figure is a digital twin model that was utilized in the development of the virtual stage as well as the occlusion layer used to properly occlude projected dancers behind the walls. We developed three distinctive virtual stages, Future, Forest, and Fantasy, that overlays on the physical space, each housing three dance performances. Using the digital twin model we mentioned, we placed 50 virtual items, which roughly covering 20% of the physical surface. Our aim is to create a new environment, providing refreshing experience for the user from the same space. In order to develop dynamic theater, we collaborated with professional dancers to capture dance performances, specifically tailored to complement footwork dance moves in the virtual environment. 3-meter wide and 15-meter long green screen setup was used to capture dance movement through 2 DSLRs and 5 depth cameras. We deployed 3 navigational aids, helping users navigate in open space. Floating particle shows where to walk by slowly floating to the designated area, serving as directional indicator. Meanwhile, floating arrow simply points to the next area and only shows up when looked down. A spiral shows up in the middle of the stage following 3 dance performances. Next virtual stage is presented when user enter into the spiral by walking into it. We implemented what we call location-based trigger so that we can precisely present dancers to the viewer. Location-based triggers are placed near the content zone where the user will naturally walk into. Here we considered floor layout and user movement prediction to do so. Location anchoring systems such as Azure Spatial Anchor made it possible to place triggers and navigational aids accurately every time. A user study involving 20 participants was conducted to evaluate dynamic theater. Shown here is a diagram of the user experience and the general path that users followed. In the initial stage, the user followed particles, discovering digital dance performances en route. After viewing all performances, a spiral appears to help user transition to the next stage. Stage transition proceed when the user walk into the spiral. This process repeats in the second stage, but this time user follow the arrow. In the final stage, no navigation aid was included. Here users have the freedom to explore the environment as they please and are not confined by the navigation systems. The following video shows a footage directly captured from HoloLens 2 in user's perspective. Please note that MR capture software running on top of our application had an impact on the tracking and dance playback. Real-world experience was noticeably more steady. As for the outcome, we discovered that people frequently overestimate the length of the experience they had. Participants on average overestimated their time by 37%. This disparity may be caused result of user being immersed and being invested, which lengthens the perceived time. Here we share concept we cited for perceived time and engagement. It should be noted that this is applicable to our experiment and timescale, which is approximately 10 minutes for an immersed experience. Many could not believe more than 10 minutes had passed and wanted to try again after completing the play. Regarding the navigation systems, both particle and arrow have unique advantages. Although the arrow seems slightly more effective for guidance, the particle were deemed more visually appealing while being more enjoyable. Our finding highlights the necessity of incorporating some form of guidance system to aid users' experience. Interestingly, in response to open-ended questions, participants specified different aspects of the theta as their favorite elements. While one participant cited enjoyment of walking through the forest scene, other participants enjoyed the spatial audio. And another participant emphasized the experience of going into the spiral and being presented with completely new scene as their favorite aspect. These responses indicate that the dynamic theater catered to a variety of user preferences. Here we share some of the key findings from dancers' feedback. Dancers emphasize that they have been trained to make the most of the floor space in their practice through footwork and floor work routines. They added, once they had an opportunity to explore the virtual stage themselves in AR, they were able to imagine all the possible moves they can incorporate in the space. Also, dancers expressed that when moving around the virtual stage, the stage appeared considerably larger than the physical layout. Through dynamic theater, dancers were able to gain greater understanding of what modern dance performance using technology can be, and many expressed interest in pursuing dance production in this area. Here we share some of the key findings from the choreographer's feedback. In comparison to traditional theater production, the choreographer had to adjust expectations regarding how much control they would have, giving dancers much more freedom and control. It is best for each dancer to contribute their unique talent and vision to make the most out of the open space. Then added, in production like this, it is important to not commit to a single theme or narrative as the user will create their own through experience. Finally, they stressed the importance of including artists in the theater production from the very beginning. Dynamic Theater Project highlights the applicability of using AR environment as venue for showcasing digital dance performances. From the user study we conducted, we highlight how independent exploration through natural locomotion is a viable method for AR theater. We also emphasize the ability for dynamic theater to cater to diverse preferences. Furthermore, our study suggests the unique advantage of different types of navigation systems and their necessity in location-based experiences. Finally, through choreographer and dancer feedback, we recognize the importance of collaborating more closely with the dancers. We hope these insights gathered from our exploration of AR theater design and collaboration with dancers will contribute to the future development of AR theater production. I would like to thank the team for their kindness and patience in making of dynamic theater. Dynamic theater would not exist without their help. I am grateful to share my passion project with community I admire, VRST. Thank you all for listening to my talk.